Welcome, weary traveler, to gentle economics. Settle in, if you will. Find a comfortable space. Perhaps you're nestled in your favorite armchair, a warm blanket draped over your shoulders. Or maybe you're already beneath the covers, the soft glow of a bedside lamp casting long, peaceful shadows across your room. Wherever you are, whatever time of day or night it may be, know that you are welcome here. This is not a place for urgency, nor for the clamor of the everyday. This is a space designed for quiet contemplation, for the gentle unwinding of the mind, and for the soothing embrace of knowledge. We embark together on journeys through the fascinating landscapes of business and economics, not with the intention of stimulating, but rather of calming, of inviting a sense of peaceful understanding. Tonight, as the world outside continues its ceaseless turning, we will journey into a story that, at its heart, is about simplicity, ingenuity, and the quiet revolution of everyday living. We will explore a name that has become synonymous with homes across the globe, a name whispered in countless languages, a name that evokes images of flat-packed possibilities and the subtle scent of pine and particle board. Tonight, we turn our gentle gaze towards IKEA. You might know IKEA from its sprawling blue and yellow warehouses, those labyrinthine cathedrals of homeware that invite you to wander, to dream, to imagine a different corner for your living room, a new shelf for your books. You might know it from the satisfying click of an Allen key or the quiet triumph of assembling a piece of furniture with your own hands. Or perhaps you simply know it as that place where you can get a surprisingly good plate of meatballs. But beneath the surface of these familiar experiences lies a story far richer, far more intricate, and yet profoundly simple. It is a story born in the quiet, forested lands of southern Sweden, a tale of a young boy with an entrepreneurial spirit, a vision of making good design accessible to everyone, and a relentless pursuit of efficiency. It is a story of how a small, mail-order business grew into a global phenomenon, shaping not just our homes, but our very understanding of what a home can be. As we delve into the origins of this remarkable company, we will not rush. We will meander through its history, tracing the gentle currents of its evolution. We will pause to appreciate the small details, the seemingly insignificant decisions that, over time, accumulated into something truly grand. We will explore the philosophy that underpins its success, the quiet principles that guide its design, its logistics, and its very presence in our lives. Think of this journey as a slow, unhurried stroll through a well-tended garden. We will observe the sturdy roots, the blossoming ideas, and the enduring branches that have allowed IKEA to flourish for so many decades. There will be no sudden twists, no jarring revelations, only a steady, comforting unfolding of information, presented in a way that invites your mind to relax, to absorb, and perhaps to gently drift. This is, after all, a sleep documentary. Its primary purpose is not to keep you awake, but to guide you towards a state of profound calm. If, at any point, your eyelids begin to feel heavy, if the gentle hum of my voice and the soft embrace of the music begin to lull you into slumber, please, embrace it. Allow yourself to surrender to the quietude. There is no need to fight it. The story will be here, waiting for you, should you wish to return to it another time. Or perhaps it will simply accompany you into your dreams, weaving its gentle narrative into the fabric of your subconscious. The beauty of these journeys, I believe, lies in their ability to offer both knowledge and tranquility. To engage the mind just enough to distract it from the day's worries, but not so much as to excite it. To provide a gentle focus, a soft anchor in the vast ocean of your thoughts, allowing the waves of anxiety to recede and the calm waters of sleep to slowly, surely, envelop you. So, take another deep breath. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Let go of any lingering tension in your shoulders, in your jaw, in your brow. Allow your muscles to soften, to release their hold. Imagine yourself sinking deeper into your chosen resting place, feeling the support beneath you, the warmth around you. As we begin this exploration of IKEA, I invite you to join our quiet community, wherever you may be in the world. It's a wonderful thing to feel connected across distances, united by this shared moment of peace. If you feel so inclined, and only if it feels right to you, perhaps you might leave a comment below. Just a simple note telling us where you are listening from, or what time of day it is for you right now. There's no pressure, of course, but sometimes a quiet sharing can deepen the sense of connection, a gentle acknowledgement that we are all, in our own ways, seeking a moment of calm. Perhaps you are in a bustling city, the distant sounds of traffic a muted backdrop to your evening. Or maybe you are in a quiet countryside, the only sounds the chirping of crickets or the hoot of an owl. Perhaps it is early morning, and you are preparing for the day ahead with a dose of gentle calm. Or perhaps, like many, it is late at night, and you are seeking solace before sleep. Wherever you are, whatever your circumstance, know that this space is for you. A sanctuary of gentle understanding, a haven for quiet reflection. And so, with a deep, calming breath, let us begin our journey. Let us open the door to the world of IKEA and explore the quiet magic that lies within its blue and yellow walls. Narrator. Welcome, dear listener, to another journey with Gentle Economics. Tonight we drift across the tranquil landscapes of enterprise, exploring the quiet hum of innovation that shapes our world, often in ways we barely perceive. Settle in, let your thoughts unfurl, and allow the gentle current of our story to carry you. Our destination this evening is a place of unassuming beauty, a land where the whispers of ancient forests meet the crisp clarity of northern air. We travel to Sweden, to a small, almost forgotten corner of Småland, a region known for its rugged beauty, its resilient people, and a certain quiet ingenuity. Here, in the mid-20th century, amidst the slow, steady rhythm of post-war recovery, a seed was planted. A seed that would, in time, blossom into a global phenomenon, touching millions of homes and countless lives. We speak, of course, of IKEA. But before IKEA became the familiar blue and yellow beacon of affordable design, before the labyrinthine showrooms and the flat-pack promises, there was just a boy, a bicycle, and an insatiable curiosity. Our story begins not with grand visions, but with humble, everyday needs. Imagine, if you will, the Sweden of the 1930s and 40s. The world was slowly, painstakingly, rebuilding itself from the ashes of conflict. Resources were precious, and frugality was not merely a virtue, but a necessity. In the rural areas, like Småland, life moved at a different pace. Communities were close-knit, self-reliant, and resourceful. It was in this fertile ground of practical need and quiet determination that Ingvar Kamprad, the founder of IKEA, first began to stir. Ingvar was born in 1926 on a small farm called Elmtarid near the village of Agunnaryd. The name IKEA itself is an echo of these roots. Ingvar Kamprad, Elmtarid Agunnaryd. A simple acronym, yet it carries the weight of a personal history, a connection to the very soil from which it sprang. Even as a young boy, Ingvar possessed an almost instinctive understanding of commerce, a keen eye for what people needed and how to provide it efficiently. It was not about grand schemes or complex theories. It was about the immediate, tangible reality of exchange. His first ventures were remarkably simple, yet they revealed the core principles that would later define his empire. Picture him, a young boy, perhaps 7 or 8 years old, cycling through the quiet country lanes. His bicycle, a trusty companion, would be laden with matchboxes. Not just any matchboxes, but matchboxes bought in bulk from Stockholm at a price that allowed him to sell them individually, at a slight profit, to his neighbors. This wasn't about getting rich quickly. It was about understanding the margin, the simple equation of buying low and selling high. It was about seeing a need, the everyday need for matches, and finding a more efficient way to fulfill it for his community. As he grew, so did the scope of his humble enterprise. The matchboxes gave way to flower seeds, then Christmas decorations, then fish, which he'd catch himself and sell. Each venture was a miniature lesson in supply chain, in customer service, in the subtle art of persuasion. He learned to source, to transport, to price, and to build trust, all before he was old enough to shave. The post-war era, while challenging, also presented unique opportunities. There was a burgeoning demand for everyday goods, for items that could make life a little easier, a little more comfortable. Yet, access to these goods, especially in rural areas, was often limited. Shops were few and far between, and prices could be prohibitive. This created a vacuum, a space for someone with the drive and ingenuity to connect producers with consumers. Ingvar, still a teenager, recognized this gap. In 1943, at the tender age of 17, with a small sum of money gifted by his father for excelling in his studies, he officially founded IKEA. The initial idea was not to sell furniture, far from it. His first catalog, a modest affair, offered a diverse array of practical items: pens, wallets, picture frames, table runners, nylon stockings, and even watches. These were the staples of daily life, the small comforts and necessities that people sought. The method of distribution was as resourceful as the product selection. Ingvar didn't have a grand retail space. Instead, he relied on mail order. He would place advertisements in local newspapers, and customers would send in their orders. He would then personally deliver many of these items, often using the local milk truck, or, once again, his ever-reliable bicycle. This direct-to-consumer approach, born out of necessity, was an early precursor to the streamlined distribution models that would later define IKEA. The challenges were numerous. Competition, though not as fierce as today, still existed. Trust had to be built, especially when selling through the mail, a relatively new concept for many rural Swedes. Logistics were rudimentary. Imagine the effort involved in sourcing, packaging, and delivering a diverse range of small items across a scattered rural landscape, all without the aid of modern technology. It required immense dedication, meticulous organization, and an unwavering belief in the value he was providing. What set Ingvar apart, even in these early days, was his relentless focus on cost efficiency. He understood that for his products to be accessible to the broadest possible audience, they had to be affordable. This wasn't about cutting corners on quality, but about finding smarter ways to produce and distribute. He would seek out manufacturers who could offer better prices, always negotiating, always looking for the most economical solution. This ingrained habit of thrift, born from the scarcity of his youth and the practical demands of post-war Sweden, would become a cornerstone of the IKEA philosophy. The early years were a slow, steady climb. There were no overnight successes, no sudden bursts of fame. It was a gradual process of learning, adapting, and building relationships. Ingvar spent countless hours traveling, meeting suppliers, listening to customers, and refining his offerings. He was not just a businessman. He was a problem solver, driven by a simple desire to make good products available to more people. The quiet hum of his early enterprise was a reflection of the times. It was an era of rebuilding, of practical solutions, of making do with what was available. There was a certain dignity in the everyday, a respect for honest work and honest value, and it was within this context that Ingvar Kamprad, with his bicycle and his burgeoning catalog, laid the groundwork for something truly extraordinary. He wasn't selling dreams, he was selling practicalities. He wasn't selling luxury, he was selling accessibility. And in doing so, he was tapping into a deep-seated human desire, the desire for a better, more comfortable life, made possible through thoughtful, affordable goods. As we conclude this first segment, let us reflect on the power of these humble beginnings. The global giant that is IKEA today did not spring forth fully formed. It emerged from the quiet determination of a young man in rural Sweden, driven by simple principles and a deep understanding of human needs. It was built, piece by painstaking piece, on the foundation of matchboxes, flower seeds, and a tireless commitment to making everyday life a little bit better for everyone. Good evening, or perhaps good morning, wherever you may be in this vast, interconnected world. Welcome back to Gentle Economics, where we explore the quiet currents that shape our lives, the subtle innovations that, over time, weave themselves into the fabric of our everyday existence. Tonight, our journey continues into the heart of a phenomenon, a Swedish whisper that grew into a global chorus: IKEA. Last time, we touched upon the humble beginnings, the fertile soil of Småland, and the young Ingvar Kamprad's innate curiosity, his gentle ambition to bring good things to many people. Tonight, we delve deeper into the very essence of what made IKEA IKEA. We turn our gaze now to a concept so deceptively simple, yet so profoundly transformative, it reshaped an entire industry. We speak, of course, of the flat pack revolution. Imagine, if you will, the mid-20th century. Furniture, particularly well-designed, sturdy furniture, was often a luxury. It was crafted by skilled artisans, often in large, unwieldy pieces, requiring specialized delivery, careful handling, and often significant expense. The journey from workshop to home was fraught with challenges. Breakage was a concern. Storage in warehouses was inefficient, each finished piece consuming vast amounts of precious space. Transportation was a puzzle, truckloads often filled with more air than actual product, the bulky forms resisting efficient packing. Then, a quiet moment of inspiration. The story, now almost legendary, speaks of Gillis Lundgren, one of IKEA's early designers. He was attempting to fit a large ornate table into a small car. Frustration, that gentle prod towards ingenuity, led him to consider removing the legs. And in that simple act, a seed was planted. What if furniture wasn't born whole, but rather in elegant, disassembled components? What if the journey to becoming a table, a bookshelf, a bed, began not in a workshop, but in the hands of the customer, in the quiet sanctuary of their own home? This was the genesis of the flat pack, a concept so intuitive it almost feels as if it should have always existed. But like many truly revolutionary ideas, its brilliance lay in its quiet departure from the established norm. Instead of a finished product, IKEA began to offer a carefully curated collection of wooden boards, metal fittings, and screws, all nestled snugly within a flat, rectangular cardboard box. Let us consider for a moment the profound logistical advantages this seemingly minor shift unlocked. Imagine a warehouse, once filled with towering, fully assembled wardrobes, each demanding its own footprint. Now, envision that same space, but instead it holds stacks upon stacks of flat-packed wardrobe components. The difference in volume is staggering. Storage efficiency soared. Suddenly, a single truck could carry not just a handful of finished pieces, but dozens, even hundreds, of flat-packed items. The air, once wasted space, was now filled with potential. This translated directly into significant cost savings. Less space needed for storage meant lower overheads. More efficient transportation meant reduced fuel consumption and fewer delivery vehicles. These savings, in turn, could be passed on to the customer, aligning perfectly with Ingvar Kamprad's vision of democratizing good design. But the flat pack was more than just a logistical marvel. It was a design philosophy in itself. It demanded a new way of thinking about furniture. Designers at IKEA weren't just creating beautiful objects, they were creating puzzles, elegant challenges for the consumer. Each piece had to be designed not only for its aesthetic appeal and functionality, but also for its ease of assembly. The instructions, those famously illustrated wordless guides, became an art form in themselves. They had to be universally understandable, transcending language barriers, guiding the assembler with quiet clarity. This emphasis on user assembly, often seen by some as a chore, was, in fact, a stroke of quiet genius. It fostered a sense of ownership, a subtle bond between the customer and their furniture. The act of building, of transforming a collection of components into a functional, beautiful piece, instilled a quiet pride. It was a small, personal triumph, a moment of gentle creation in the home. And in doing so, it subtly shifted the perception of value. The customer wasn't just buying a table. They were buying the experience of building a table, of participating in its creation. The flat pack also democratized furniture ownership in ways previously unimaginable. Suddenly, well-designed modern furniture was accessible to a much broader audience. Young couples furnishing their first apartment, students moving into dorms, families on a budget, all could now afford to create comfortable, stylish living spaces without breaking the bank. It wasn't about compromise. It was about intelligent design and efficient production making quality attainable. Think of the quiet dignity this brought. No longer was a stylish home the exclusive domain of the affluent. IKEA, through its flat pack revolution, offered a pathway to aesthetic comfort and functional beauty for the many. It empowered individuals to shape their surroundings, to express their personal style, regardless of their economic standing. The ingenuity behind the flat pack extends beyond mere economics. It speaks to a deeper understanding of human behavior and aspiration. It recognized the desire for agency, for involvement, for the satisfaction of a task completed. It transformed the act of furnishing a home from a passive consumption into an active, engaging process. Consider the environmental implications, too, in a quiet, understated way. More efficient transportation meant a smaller carbon footprint per item, less packaging waste, as the boxes themselves were often integral to the product's protection during transit. While not explicitly framed as an environmental initiative at its inception, the flat pack inherently carried with it a more sustainable approach to manufacturing and distribution. The flat pack was not without its critics, of course. Some lamented the perceived loss of traditional craftsmanship, the impersonal nature of mass production. But IKEA's response was always rooted in its core philosophy: to offer good design and functionality at prices so low that the many people could afford them. And in that pursuit, the flat pack proved to be an indispensable tool. It's a testament to the quiet power of innovation, the way a single idea, born from a moment of gentle frustration, can ripple outwards, transforming industries, empowering consumers, and ultimately shaping the way we live. The flat pack isn't just about boxes and screws. It's about accessibility, efficiency, and the quiet satisfaction of building something with your own hands. As we conclude this segment, take a moment to reflect on the flat pack furniture you might have in your own home. Perhaps a bookshelf, a coffee table, a desk. Each piece, in its quiet way, tells a story of ingenuity, of a design philosophy that sought to bring comfort and style to the widest possible audience. It's a testament to the power of thinking differently, of seeing not just a problem, but an elegant solution waiting to be discovered. In our next segment, we will explore the unique IKEA store experience itself, the carefully curated journey that guides customers through a labyrinth of inspiration, and the subtle psychological nudges that make it so much more than just a place to buy furniture. Until then, may your thoughts be calm and your rest be deep. Narrator. Welcome back, dear listener, to Gentle Economics. As the evening light softens and the world outside begins its quiet descent into slumber, we continue our unhurried exploration of IKEA, a name that has, in its own unassuming way, reshaped our homes and our understanding of value. We've journeyed through its humble beginnings, glimpsed the spirit of its founder, And now we arrive at the very heart of its philosophy, a concept known as democratic design. Imagine, if you will, a tranquil Scandinavian landscape. The air is crisp. The light, even in summer, possesses a certain ethereal quality. Forests stretch, lakes shimmer, and the homes, though often simple, are filled with a quiet beauty, a functionality born of necessity, and an innate appreciation for natural materials. This is the backdrop, the very soul from which IKEA's aesthetic and its guiding principles emerged: democratic design. The words themselves carry a certain weight, a quiet promise. It is not merely a marketing slogan, but a deeply ingrained ethos, a guiding star that has steered IKEA's creative compass for decades. At its core, democratic design is a five-pronged philosophy, a carefully balanced equation that seeks to bring well-designed, functional, and sustainable products within reach of the many, not just the few. Let us gently unpack each of these pillars, one by one, allowing their meaning to unfurl like a delicate blossom in the morning sun. First, there is form. In the world of IKEA, form is rarely about ostentation or fleeting trends. It is about clean lines, understated elegance, and a timeless quality that allows a piece of furniture to blend harmoniously into various settings, adapting as lives and tastes evolve. Think of the iconic Billy bookshelf, a simple rectangular form that has adorned countless walls across the globe. Its beauty lies in its unpretentious nature, its quiet confidence. Or consider the Lack side table, a minimalist square, almost a blank canvas, yet perfectly serving its purpose. These forms are not shouting for attention. They are whispering, inviting you to appreciate their inherent balance and proportion. This emphasis on clean, uncluttered design is a direct inheritance from the rich tradition of Scandinavian aesthetics. Imagine a Swedish winter, long and dark. The need for light, for spaciousness, for a sense of calm within the home becomes paramount. Scandinavian design, in response, embraced light woods, white walls, and uncluttered spaces, allowing natural light to bounce and reflect, creating an illusion of openness and airiness. IKEA, in its own interpretation, adopted this sensibility, offering furniture that doesn't dominate a room but rather enhances it, allowing the individual's personality and life to take center stage. The forms are often modular, adaptable, designed to fit into smaller living spaces, a common reality in many parts of the world. They are designed to be lived with, to be touched, to become part of the quiet rhythm of daily life. Next, we turn our attention to function. A beautiful object that serves no practical purpose in the IKEA philosophy falls short. Functionality is paramount. Every curve, every joint, every material choice is considered through the lens of how it will serve the user. Take, for instance, the clever storage solutions that are a hallmark of IKEA. The Kallax shelving unit, with its perfectly square compartments, is not just a place to store books. It's a room divider, a display cabinet, a creative canvas. The drawers slide smoothly, the shelves bear weight reliably, the surfaces are easy to clean. This focus on function extends beyond the obvious. It encompasses the ease of assembly, a feature that, while sometimes a source of gentle frustration for the uninitiated, is itself a testament to design for function. The flat pack concept, which we will explore in more detail later, is a functional innovation designed to reduce shipping costs and environmental impact, ultimately lowering the price for the consumer. The products are designed to be robust enough for everyday use, to withstand the gentle wear and tear of family life. They are not museum pieces. They are tools for living, designed to make life a little simpler, a little more organized, a little more comfortable. Then comes quality. This is perhaps the most subtly nuanced aspect of democratic design. IKEA's quality is not about luxury or artisanal craftsmanship in the traditional sense. It is about fit-for-purpose quality, a quality that ensures durability and longevity within its intended context. It's about materials that are chosen not for their extravagance, but for their resilience and their ability to be mass-produced efficiently. Pine, birch, particle board, and various plastics are not accidental choices. They are deliberate selections that balance cost, availability, and performance. The quality is in the engineered wood that resists warping, the sturdy metal frames that hold their shape, the fabrics that withstand repeated washing. It's in the rigorous testing that each product undergoes, ensuring it meets safety standards and can withstand the rigors of daily life. While a solid oak heirloom might last for generations, an IKEA piece is designed to last for a good, long time, serving its purpose faithfully, and then, when its time comes, to be easily recycled or repurposed. This approach to quality is democratic because it makes a certain standard of durability accessible to a wider audience, rather than reserving it for those who can afford bespoke pieces. It's a quiet promise of reliability, a gentle assurance that your purchase will serve you well. Our fourth pillar is sustainability. In recent years, this aspect has grown exponentially in its importance within IKEA's philosophy, moving from a quiet consideration to a central tenet. The commitment to sustainability is woven into every stage of the product lifecycle, from the sourcing of raw materials to the end-of-life disposal or recycling. IKEA is one of the world's largest consumers of wood, and its efforts to source wood from sustainably managed forests, certified by organizations like the Forest Stewardship Council, are significant. They are actively investing in renewable energy, reducing waste in their manufacturing processes, and designing products that can be easily disassembled for recycling. Consider the materials themselves. Bamboo, a rapidly renewable resource, is increasingly used in furniture. Recycled plastics find new life in storage bins and accessories. The goal is to minimize environmental impact, to tread lightly on our planet. This commitment extends to the longevity of products. Designing for durability reduces the need for frequent replacements. It also encompasses efforts to make homes more energy efficient, offering LED lighting solutions and water-saving fixtures. Sustainability, in the context of democratic design, is about ensuring that well-designed, affordable living doesn't come at the expense of our shared future. It's a long-term vision, a quiet commitment to responsible stewardship. Finally, we arrive at the cornerstone that binds all these elements together: low price. Without affordability, democratic design would remain an aspirational ideal, not a tangible reality for the many. IKEA's entire operational model, from its flat-pack design to its self-service warehouses, is meticulously engineered to drive down costs without compromising the other four pillars. The design process itself is often inverted. Instead of designing a product and then figuring out the cost, IKEA designers are often given a target price first and then tasked with creating the best possible product within that constraint. This cost-conscious design forces innovation, encourages efficient use of materials, and challenges conventional manufacturing processes. The low price is not achieved through sacrificing quality in a detrimental way, but through intelligent design, efficient logistics, and economies of scale. It's about empowering people to furnish their homes with dignity and comfort, regardless of their income level. It's about democratizing good design, making it accessible, not exclusive. The joy of finding a well-designed, functional item that fits your budget is a quiet satisfaction, a gentle affirmation of value. These 5 elements, form, function, quality, sustainability, and low price, are not independent silos. They are intricately interwoven, forming a holistic approach to product development. A change in one affects the others, and the challenge for IKEA's designers and engineers is to continually find that delicate balance, that sweet spot where all 5 pillars stand strong. Now, let us turn our gaze more directly to the profound influence of Scandinavian design on IKEA's identity. It is impossible to speak of IKEA without acknowledging this deep, almost spiritual connection. Scandinavian design, as a movement, emerged in the early 20th century, gaining international recognition in the 1950s. It was a response to the ornate, often heavy styles of the past, seeking instead to create beauty through simplicity, utility, and a deep respect for natural materials. Imagine a Nordic home. The light is precious, so windows are large and uncluttered. The climate is often harsh, so interiors become sanctuaries of warmth and comfort. The landscape is vast and elemental, inspiring a preference for natural wood, wool, and linen. There is a strong cultural emphasis on equality and social welfare, which naturally translated into a desire for good design to be available to everyone, not just the wealthy. IKEA, born in Sweden, absorbed these principles into its very DNA. The clean lines, the light wood finishes, the muted color palettes, often punctuated by splashes of vibrant primary colors, these are all hallmarks of Scandinavian design. The emphasis on functionality, on furniture that is practical and adaptable rather than purely decorative, is another direct lineage. The concept of hygge or lagom, Swedish for just enough, or not too much, not welcome back, dear listener, to gentle economics. We've journeyed through the quiet forests of Småland, explored the humble beginnings of a young Ingvar Kamprad, and witnessed the careful cultivation of a global vision. Now, as the soft light of our narrative deepens, we arrive at perhaps the most iconic and certainly the most immersive aspect of the IKEA phenomenon, the store itself. Imagine, if you will, a quiet morning. The world outside hums with its usual rhythm, but within these walls, a different kind of time unfolds. You step across the threshold, and a subtle shift occurs. The air perhaps feels a little different, a gentle hum of quiet activity, a faint, almost imperceptible scent of wood and fabric, a whisper of possibility. This is not merely a retail space, it is an experience, carefully designed, meticulously curated, to guide you on a journey. The IKEA store. It is for many a labyrinth. A gentle, welcoming labyrinth, certainly, but a labyrinth nonetheless. From the moment you enter, you are subtly, almost imperceptibly, invited onto a path, a one-way path. This is not by accident, nor is it a mere quirk of architecture. It is a fundamental pillar of the IKEA experience, a psychological masterpiece woven into the very fabric of the building. Consider the sensation. You are not presented with an overwhelming array of choices at once, a dizzying panorama of departments. Instead, you are offered a narrative, a story unfolding before your eyes. The path, wide and inviting, guides you forward, gently discouraging deviation. There's a quiet understanding that you are to follow this flow, to allow the store to reveal itself to you, piece by carefully placed piece. This one-way journey is a masterclass in gentle persuasion. It reduces decision fatigue, that subtle weariness that can creep in when faced with too many immediate options. Instead, the path offers a sense of progression, a feeling of being led, almost by the hand, through a series of carefully constructed vignettes. It's akin to walking through a well-tended garden, where each turn reveals a new vista, a fresh arrangement of colors and textures. And what are these vignettes? They are the showrooms. Ah, the showrooms. Here, the true magic begins to unfold. You step from the quiet thoroughfare into a fully realized space, a living room, a bedroom, a kitchen, a child's play area. These are not merely displays of furniture. They are meticulously crafted scenes, miniature worlds, each telling a silent story. Observe the details. The books carefully arranged on the shelves, perhaps a novel half-read, a cup of tea resting on a coaster. The throw blanket casually draped over a sofa, inviting a moment of repose. The children's drawings taped to a refrigerator, a silent testament to family life. These are not just objects. They are suggestions of a life, a quiet invitation to imagine yourself within these spaces. The lighting in these showrooms is often soft, diffused, mimicking the gentle glow of a home. The colors are chosen with care, often in harmonious palettes that evoke a sense of calm and comfort. You might find yourself pausing, lingering, allowing your imagination to wander. Could this be my living room, you might think? Could I wake up in this serene bedroom? This immersive quality is deeply psychological. By presenting furniture not as isolated pieces, but as components of a lived-in environment, IKEA taps into our innate desire for comfort, for belonging, for a sense of home. It's a gentle form of aspiration, not one that shouts for attention, but one that whispers possibilities. You are not just buying a sofa. You are buying the feeling of coziness, the promise of quiet evenings, the potential for shared laughter. As you drift from one showroom to the next, the narrative continues. You move from the public spaces of a home, the living room, the dining room, to the more private sanctuaries, the bedroom, the study. There's a natural progression, a gentle rhythm to this unfolding. Each space is a chapter, building upon the last, painting a more complete picture of the IKEA lifestyle. The path, ever so subtly, guides you. You might find yourself circling a kitchen display, imagining the aroma of freshly baked bread, the quiet clatter of dishes. You might pause in a child's room, recalling the innocent joy of play, the vibrant colors sparking a memory. It's a journey through potential, a gentle exploration of how your own life might be enriched, simplified, made more beautiful. And then, as the showrooms begin to gently recede, the landscape shifts. You transition into what IKEA calls the marketplace. This is where the smaller treasures reside, the accessories that breathe life into the larger pieces. Here the path widens slightly, allowing for a more meandering exploration, a gentle pause to discover. The marketplace is a sensory experience in itself. The soft textures of textiles, cushions, throws, curtains, invite a gentle touch. The subtle sheen of glassware, the earthy tones of pottery, the crisp lines of picture frames. These are the details, the quiet accents that complete the picture. You might find yourself drawn to a particular pattern, a specific color, a texture that speaks to you. The arrangement here is often playful, almost whimsical. Items are grouped by color, by function, by theme, creating small, inviting tableaux. It's a treasure hunt, but a calm one, where discovery is a gentle pleasure rather than a frantic search. You might pick up a candle, its scent a subtle invitation to relaxation. You might admire a plant, its vibrant green, a quiet promise of life. The psychological impact of the marketplace is one of gentle suggestion. Having seen the larger pieces in their natural habitat within the showrooms, you now encounter the smaller elements that bring those spaces to life. It's a natural extension of the narrative, a quiet encouragement to complete the vision, to add those personal touches that transform a house into a home. And as the journey through the marketplace gently concludes, a new aroma might begin to waft through the air, a comforting, familiar scent. The restaurant. The IKEA restaurant is not merely a place to eat. It is an integral part of the immersive experience, a gentle pause in the journey. Imagine the quiet hum of conversation, the gentle clatter of cutlery, the soft clinking of glasses. The space is often designed with the same clean lines and functional aesthetics as the furniture, creating a sense of continuity. Here you can sit, relax, and perhaps reflect on the journey you've just undertaken. The food itself is often simple, comforting, and affordable. Swedish meatballs, salmon, lingonberry juice. It's a taste of the Nordic, a subtle reinforcement of the brand's origins. But beyond the sustenance, the restaurant offers a moment of respite. It's a chance to recharge, to process the myriad impressions, to discuss potential purchases with companions. This strategic placement of the restaurant is another stroke of psychological genius. By offering a comfortable break in the middle of the store, IKEA acknowledges the physical and mental demands of the shopping experience. It's a gentle invitation to linger, to extend your stay, to deepen your connection with the brand in a relaxed, unhurried setting. And for families, it's a godsend, a place where children can be fed, where parents can take a moment to breathe. It transforms the shopping trip from a chore into a more leisurely outing, a gentle family experience. The atmosphere is often bright, airy, and welcoming, a stark contrast to the often hurried pace of the outside world. As you finish your meal, perhaps with a quiet cup of coffee, you might find yourself looking out over the expanse of the store, or perhaps at the other diners, all engaged in their own quiet moments. There's a sense of shared experience, a quiet camaraderie among those who have embarked on this unique journey. Having refreshed yourself, the path gently resumes, leading you towards the final stages of the IKEA experience. This often involves the self-serve furniture area, where the flat-pack boxes await. But even here, there's a sense of order, of quiet efficiency. The items are clearly marked, the aisles wide, designed to facilitate a smooth transition from selection to collection. The entire journey from the moment you step inside to the moment you leave is designed to be immersive, almost dreamlike. It's a gentle escape from the everyday, an invitation to envision a different kind of life, a more organized, more aesthetically pleasing, more comfortable existence. The one-way path, the carefully curated showrooms, the delightful marketplace, and the comforting restaurant, each element plays its part in crafting this unique narrative. It's a testament to the power of thoughtful design, not just of products, but of the entire customer journey. IKEA doesn't just sell furniture. It sells a vision, a lifestyle, a feeling. And it does so with a gentle hand, guiding you through its quiet labyrinth, allowing you to discover, to dream, and perhaps to find a little piece of that imagined life to take home with you. Welcome back, dear listener, to Gentle Economics. We continue our quiet journey into the heart of IKEA, that vast blue and yellow landscape of affordable living. We've explored its origins, its design philosophy, and its unique retail experience. Now we turn our gaze to a less visible, yet profoundly impactful aspect of its existence: the intricate dance of its global supply chain. It is here, in the quiet hum of logistics and the precise choreography of goods, that much of IKEA's magic, its ability to offer well-designed items at prices that invite us to dream, truly resides. Imagine, if you will, a single IKEA bookshelf, perhaps the ubiquitous Billy. It stands in your living room, a testament to simple utility. But before it arrived in your flat-pack box, before it even reached the cavernous aisles of the store, it embarked on a journey of remarkable complexity and astonishing efficiency. This journey, repeated millions of times over for countless products, is the backbone of IKEA's economic model. At its core, IKEA's supply chain is a symphony of optimization, a continuous quest for the most efficient path from raw material to your home. It is built upon principles of scale, standardization, and a relentless pursuit of cost reduction, all while maintaining a consistent quality that has become synonymous with the brand. Let us begin at the very genesis of a product: sourcing. IKEA operates on a truly global scale, and its sourcing reflects this expansive reach. They do not simply buy finished products. They engage with a vast network of suppliers across continents, seeking out the best raw materials and manufacturing capabilities. This could mean timber from sustainably managed forests in Europe, steel from Asia, or textiles from various corners of the globe. The choice of supplier is not merely about the lowest price. It is a careful consideration of quality, ethical practices, and the ability to meet IKEA's stringent demands for volume and consistency. IKEA's approach to sourcing is deeply integrated. They often work closely with their suppliers, sometimes for decades, fostering long-term relationships built on mutual trust and shared goals. This collaborative spirit allows for continuous improvement, innovation in manufacturing processes, and a deeper understanding of the entire production life cycle. It's not a transactional relationship, but often a partnership, where IKEA's expertise in design and logistics can inform and guide their suppliers, helping them to refine their own operations. From these carefully selected sources, the raw materials embark on their journey to manufacturing facilities. Here, another layer of IKEA's mastery unfolds. Unlike many retailers who simply purchase finished goods, IKEA often plays a significant role in the manufacturing process itself, either through direct ownership of some facilities or through deep collaboration with contract manufacturers. This allows them to exert considerable control over quality, production methods, and, crucially, cost. The philosophy of democratic design extends into manufacturing. Products are designed not just for aesthetics and function, but also for efficient production. This means considering how a piece can be manufactured with minimal waste, using standard components, and with processes that can be easily scaled. Think of the precision cuts for flat-pack furniture designed to minimize material usage and simplify assembly. This foresight in design directly translates into savings in manufacturing. Once manufactured, the products, often in their disassembled, flat-pack form, are ready for the next stage, warehousing. This is where the sheer scale of IKEA's operations becomes truly breathtaking. Imagine warehouses so vast they could swallow multiple football fields, filled with towering racks stretching towards the ceiling, each holding thousands upon thousands of identical flat-pack boxes. These are not merely storage facilities. They are highly sophisticated logistical hubs, pulsating with activity, yet operating with a quiet, almost meditative efficiency. IKEA employs advanced inventory management systems, utilizing sophisticated algorithms to track every single item, from its arrival to its eventual departure. This meticulous tracking ensures that products are always available when needed, minimizing both overstocking and stockouts. Robotics and automation play an increasingly important role in these warehouses, with automated guided vehicles silently gliding through aisles, retrieving and placing pallets with remarkable precision. This automation reduces labor costs, increases speed, and minimizes errors, all contributing to the overall efficiency. The flat-pack design, so central to IKEA's identity, reveals its profound logistical genius here. By disassembling furniture into its constituent parts, IKEA dramatically reduces the volume of each product. This means more items can be packed into a single container, a single truck, or a single warehouse aisle. This seemingly simple innovation has a cascading effect on costs: less space needed for storage, fewer shipments required, and lower transportation expenses. It is a testament to the power of thoughtful design extending far beyond aesthetics into the very fabric of the supply chain. From these vast warehouses, the products embark on the final leg of their journey: distribution. This is a complex network designed to move goods from manufacturing facilities and central warehouses to regional distribution centers, and finally, to individual IKEA stores around the world. The scale of this operation is immense, involving thousands of trucks, ships, and trains, all moving in a coordinated ballet of delivery. IKEA's distribution strategy is built on a hub-and-spoke model. Large central distribution centers act as hubs, receiving goods from manufacturers globally. From these hubs, products are then distributed to smaller, regional distribution centers, which in turn supply the individual IKEA stores within their geographical area. This tiered approach allows for efficient consolidation of shipments, reducing transportation costs and environmental impact. The company invests heavily in optimizing its transportation routes, using advanced software to plan the most efficient paths, considering factors like fuel consumption, road conditions, and delivery schedules. They also prioritize intermodal transportation, utilizing trains and ships whenever possible for long distances, which are generally more environmentally friendly and cost-effective than road transport. The goal throughout this entire supply chain, from sourcing to manufacturing, warehousing to distribution, is a singular, unwavering focus on efficiency and scale. Every decision, every process, is scrutinized for opportunities to reduce costs without compromising quality. This relentless pursuit of optimization is what allows IKEA to offer its products at prices that are accessible to a vast global audience. Consider the sheer volume. When you produce millions of units of a single item, even a small saving per unit, perhaps a fraction of a cent in material cost or a few seconds in assembly time, multiplies into significant savings across the entire production run. This economy of scale is a powerful force, enabling IKEA to negotiate favorable terms with suppliers, invest in advanced manufacturing technologies, and build a distribution network of unparalleled reach. The integration of technology is another silent hero in this narrative. From sophisticated enterprise resource planning systems that manage everything from procurement to sales, to advanced analytics that predict demand and optimize inventory levels, technology acts as the nervous system of IKEA's supply chain, ensuring that every part of the vast organism works in harmony. This mastery of the supply chain is not merely about moving goods, it is about creating value. By minimizing waste, optimizing processes, and leveraging scale, IKEA transforms raw materials into affordable, functional, and aesthetically pleasing products that enhance daily life for millions. It is a testament to the idea that thoughtful design, when combined with meticulous operational excellence, can truly democratize good living. The quiet hum of a forklift in a warehouse, the steady rhythm of a production line, the gentle sway of a cargo ship crossing an ocean. These are the unseen forces that bring the IKEA experience to life. They are the silent architects of affordability, the unsung heroes of flat-pack convenience. And as we reflect on this intricate dance of logistics, we gain a deeper appreciation for the quiet ingenuity that underpins one of the world's most beloved brands. As the ambient music gently fades, we prepare to conclude our journey into the world of IKEA. In our next and final segment, we will explore the future of this iconic brand, its challenges, and its ongoing evolution in a rapidly changing world. For now, let these thoughts settle, like dust motes dancing in a sunbeam, and perhaps find a moment of quiet contemplation in the remarkable efficiency that surrounds us. Narrator. As we gently navigate the labyrinthine paths of IKEA, past the carefully curated living rooms and the inviting bedrooms, a different kind of aroma often begins to drift through the air. It's a scent that transcends the fresh pine of the flat-pack furniture and the subtle perfume of freshly laundered textiles. It is the unmistakable, comforting fragrance of food. And for many, it is the scent of a pilgrimage's reward, a delicious punctuation mark in the grand narrative of an IKEA visit. Narrator. We speak, of course, of the IKEA restaurant, a place where the art of home furnishing subtly, yet profoundly, intersects with the primal need for sustenance. And at the heart of this culinary landscape, a true icon has emerged, a dish so intrinsically linked to the IKEA experience that it has become almost as famous as the Billy bookcase itself. The Swedish meatball. Narrator. Imagine, if you will, a Saturday afternoon. You've spent hours, perhaps even an entire morning, meticulously planning the layout of your new living space. You've measured, you've debated, you've envisioned. Your mind is a flurry of dimensions, colors, and textures. Your feet, perhaps, are a little weary from the extensive journey through the showrooms. And then a beacon appears, a sign, often nestled strategically near the checkout or at a natural break in the flow, beckoning you towards a different kind of comfort. Narrator. This is not merely a cafeteria. It is a strategic pause, a deliberate interlude designed to enhance, rather than interrupt, the overall IKEA experience. The Swedish meatballs, with their accompanying lingonberry jam, creamy mashed potatoes, and rich gravy, are more than just a meal. They are a moment of respite, a small, affordable luxury that acknowledges the effort you've invested in your homemaking journey. Narrator. Think of the psychology at play here. When we are well-fed and comfortable, our mood improves. Our patience, which might have been tested by the sheer scale of the store or the complexities of decision-making, is replenished. A satisfied stomach often leads to a more satisfied mind, making us more receptive, more open to the remaining offerings of the store. This is the subtle genius of IKEA's food strategy. It transforms potential fatigue into renewed engagement. Narrator. The meatballs, in particular, are a masterstroke of cultural branding. They are undeniably Swedish, a taste of the homeland that Ingvar Kamprad so proudly represented. By offering this authentic, yet universally appealing dish, IKEA reinforces its Scandinavian identity in a tangible, delicious way. It's a culinary ambassador, silently communicating the values of simplicity, comfort, and a certain wholesome charm that are so central to the IKEA ethos. Narrator. Consider the journey of a typical IKEA shopper. They arrive, perhaps with a list, perhaps with a vague idea, but always with an expectation of discovery. They navigate the carefully constructed pathways, moving from one room setting to another, absorbing inspiration. This is a process that can take time, and time, in the retail world, is a precious commodity. Narrator. The IKEA restaurant, strategically placed, encourages what is known in retail as dwell time. It invites you to linger, to extend your stay. Instead of rushing out after making your purchases, you are invited to sit, to relax, to converse. This extended presence within the store environment increases the likelihood of further engagement, perhaps a return visit to the showroom after your meal, or a browse through the market hall for those smaller, impulse purchases. Narrator. The affordability of the food is another key element. IKEA has always championed the idea of democratic design, good design for the many people. This philosophy extends seamlessly to their culinary offerings. The meatballs, the hot dogs, the cinnamon buns, they are all priced to be accessible, to be a treat that doesn't break the bank. This reinforces the brand's image as a provider of value, not just in furniture, but in the entire experience. It's a small, yet significant gesture of hospitality. Narrator. Beyond the iconic meatballs, the IKEA food court offers a wider array of options, often reflecting local tastes while maintaining a core Swedish influence. There are vegetarian alternatives, healthier choices, and delightful pastries. Each item, however, serves the same fundamental purpose: to nourish the body and, in doing so, to soothe the mind, making the overall IKEA visit a more pleasant and memorable one. Narrator. Imagine the conversations that unfold over these meals. Families discussing their new kitchen plans, couples debating the merits of one sofa over another, friends sharing a moment of quiet camaraderie. The restaurant becomes a communal space, a hub of activity and connection, all within the larger framework of the IKEA universe. It transforms a potentially transactional shopping trip into a more holistic, almost experiential outing. Narrator. And then there is the emotional connection. For many, the IKEA meatball evokes a sense of nostalgia, a memory of past visits, of family outings, of the excitement of furnishing a new home. It becomes a small ritual, a comforting constant in a world of ever-changing trends. This emotional resonance is incredibly powerful, fostering loyalty and a sense of belonging to the IKEA brand. Narrator. The subtle genius of IKEA's food strategy lies in its understanding that shopping is not just about acquiring goods, it is about an experience. It is about creating an environment where customers feel welcome, comfortable, and valued. The food, particularly the humble yet mighty Swedish meatball, plays an indispensable role in crafting this atmosphere. It is a testament to the idea that even the smallest details, when thoughtfully considered, can have a profound impact on the overall journey. Narrator. So, the next time you find yourself wandering through the aisles of IKEA, perhaps feeling a gentle pang of hunger, remember the quiet wisdom behind that comforting aroma. It is not just sustenance, It is strategy. It is an invitation to pause, to reflect, and to truly savor the experience, one delicious, perfectly formed meatball at a time. And as we conclude this segment, let that feeling of contentment linger, a gentle reminder of the thoughtful design that extends far beyond the furniture into the very heart of the IKEA experience. Narrator. As our journey through the quiet corridors of IKEA continues, we arrive at a chapter that speaks not of sales figures or design trends, but of a deeper, more enduring commitment. A commitment to the very earth beneath our feet and to the future generations who will inherit it. This is the story of IKEA's embrace of sustainability, a gentle yet persistent whisper in the bustling world of commerce. For many years, the word sustainability felt like a distant, almost academic concept for large corporations, a box to be ticked perhaps, or a marketing slogan. But within the quiet, pragmatic heart of IKEA, it began to blossom into something far more profound. It became an integral thread woven into the very fabric of its operations, a guiding principle that informs decisions from the forest floor to the showroom floor. Imagine, if you will, a vast forest. Not a chaotic, untamed wilderness, but a carefully managed expanse of trees where each sapling is planted with intention and each mature tree is harvested with respect. This is the ideal that IKEA strives for in its sourcing of materials, particularly wood. Wood, the very essence of so much of IKEA's furniture, is a finite resource, and its responsible management is paramount. IKEA's journey towards responsible sourcing began decades ago, a gradual awakening to the interconnectedness of their business with the natural world. They understood that the comfort of a wooden bed frame, the sturdy support of a shelving unit, all began with a tree, and so they embarked on a quiet revolution in their supply chain. Today, if you were to trace the journey of the wood in an IKEA bookshelf, you would likely find it originates from forests certified by organizations like the Forest Stewardship Council, or FSC. This certification is not merely a label, it is a promise. A promise that the forest is managed in an environmentally appropriate, socially beneficial, and economically viable manner. It means that biodiversity is protected, that local communities are respected, and that the forest's long-term health is prioritized over short-term gain. But wood is just one facet of this intricate gem. Cotton, another staple in IKEA's textile offerings, has its own story of transformation. The conventional cultivation of cotton can be water-intensive and rely on pesticides. IKEA, recognizing this, became a founding partner of the Better Cotton Initiative. This global not-for-profit organization aims to make global cotton production better for the people who produce it, better for the environment it grows in, and better for the sector's future. It encourages farmers to use water more efficiently, care for soil health, and reduce the use of harmful chemicals. So when you sink into an IKEA sofa, or drift off to sleep under an IKEA duvet, you can rest assured that the cotton within has a gentler story to tell. Beyond the raw materials, IKEA's commitment extends to the very energy that powers its vast network. Imagine a sprawling warehouse, its roof adorned not with traditional tiles, but with a shimmering tapestry of solar panels, quietly harnessing the sun's abundant energy. Or a wind turbine, its elegant blades turning slowly, gracefully, against a vast sky, generating clean power for a nearby store. This is not a futuristic vision. It is the present reality for many IKEA locations around the world. IKEA has made significant investments in renewable energy, with a bold ambition to become people and planet positive. This means not just reducing their environmental footprint, but actively contributing more than they consume. They aim to generate as much renewable energy as they consume in their operations, a monumental undertaking that speaks volumes about their long-term vision. It's a quiet revolution, powered by the sun and the wind, slowly but surely transforming the energy landscape of their global enterprise. But sustainability, in its truest form, is not just about responsible sourcing and renewable energy. It is about rethinking the very life cycle of a product. It is about moving away from a linear model of take, make, dispose towards a more harmonious, circular economy. And this is where IKEA's vision truly shines, in its quiet, persistent efforts to close the loop. Consider the journey of an IKEA product once it leaves the store and enters your home. Traditionally, its life would end when it no longer served its purpose, perhaps discarded or forgotten. But IKEA is slowly, thoughtfully changing this narrative. Enter the circular economy. Imagine a world where products are designed to last, to be repaired, to be reused, and ultimately to be recycled back into new materials. This is the vision that guides IKEA's product development today. They are designing furniture not just for assembly, but for disassembly. They are exploring modular designs that allow components to be replaced rather than the entire item. One of the most tangible manifestations of this circular ambition is IKEA's buyback and resell service. Imagine a beloved IKEA dresser, perhaps a few years old, still perfectly functional but no longer needed. Instead of letting it gather dust in a garage or end up in a landfill, you can bring it back to IKEA. They will assess its condition, offer you a store credit, and then resell it to another customer, giving it a second life. It's a simple, yet powerful concept, quietly challenging the ingrained habit of disposability. It's a gentle nudge towards conscious consumption, a quiet invitation to participate in a more sustainable way of living. This isn't just about furniture. IKEA is also exploring ways to extend the life of textiles, to recycle plastics into new products, and to minimize waste at every stage of their operations. They are experimenting with packaging made from mushroom mycelium, a natural biodegradable material, and developing textiles from recycled PET bottles. These are not grand, dramatic pronouncements, but rather a series of quiet, persistent innovations, each one a small step towards a larger, more sustainable future. The vision for a circular IKEA is ambitious, and it is a journey, not a destination. There will be challenges, and there will be learning curves. But the commitment is unwavering. It is a commitment rooted in the understanding that true success, in the long run, is intertwined with the health of our planet. Think of the quiet efforts made in their stores themselves, from LED lighting that significantly reduces energy consumption, to waste sorting and recycling programs that divert mountains of materials from landfills. Even the food served in their restaurants is part of this conscious approach, with efforts to reduce food waste and source ingredients responsibly. It's a holistic approach, where every detail, no matter how small, is considered through the lens of sustainability. This quiet revolution within IKEA is not just about environmental impact, it is also about social responsibility. It's about ensuring fair working conditions for those who produce their goods, about empowering communities, and about creating a more equitable world. Because true sustainability, in its broadest sense, encompasses both people and planet. As we conclude this segment, let us reflect on the quiet power of these commitments. In a world often characterized by noise and haste, IKEA's approach to sustainability is a gentle reminder that profound change can happen through persistent, thoughtful action. It is a testament to the idea that even a global giant can move with a quiet grace, striving to leave a lighter footprint on the earth and to build a more sustainable future. One carefully sourced material, one recycled product, one renewable energy source at a time. It is a story of quiet dedication, a gentle whisper of hope for a more harmonious way of living and doing business. Narrator. And so, we journey further into the quiet, expansive world of IKEA. We've seen its humble beginnings, its innovative spirit, and its unwavering commitment to a particular vision. Now, let us turn our gaze outward, across oceans and continents, to witness the remarkable odyssey of its global expansion. It is a story not just of growth, but of delicate adaptation, of listening to the whispers of diverse cultures, and of finding a harmonious balance between a steadfast identity and the ever-shifting tapestry of the world. The 1970s marked a pivotal moment, a quiet stirring within IKEA, a growing awareness that its unique proposition, democratic design, affordability, and the self-assembly concept resonated far beyond the borders of its native Sweden. The first tentative steps outside Scandinavia were taken, not with a roar, but with a thoughtful, measured stride. Switzerland, Germany, Austria, these European nations, with their own rich histories of craftsmanship and design, became the initial proving grounds. Here, IKEA learned invaluable lessons about navigating different consumer expectations, regulatory landscapes, and supply chains. It was a period of quiet observation, of understanding the nuances that differentiate one market from another, even within the same continent. But the true test, the grand adventure, lay further afield. The 1980s saw IKEA daring to cross the Atlantic, planting its distinctive blue and yellow flag on American soil. This was a bold move, a leap into a market renowned for its vastness, its diverse demographics, and its deeply ingrained consumer habits. The initial reception was not without its gentle challenges. American homes, often larger than their European counterparts, sometimes found IKEA's more compact designs a little diminutive. The metric system, so natural to IKEA's European roots, was a gentle puzzle for a nation accustomed to inches and feet. And the very concept of self-assembly, a cornerstone of IKEA's affordability, was met with a mixture of curiosity and, at times, a touch of skepticism. IKEA, however, did not flinch. It did not abandon its core principles. Instead, it listened. It observed. It adapted, not by sacrificing its soul, but by subtly adjusting its offerings. Larger sofas, deeper beds, and more spacious storage solutions began to appear in American stores, a gentle nod to the preferences of its new clientele. The marketing, while retaining its playful and accessible tone, began to incorporate more American cultural references, speaking directly to the aspirations and lifestyles of its new audience. This was not a capitulation, but a thoughtful evolution, a demonstration of IKEA's quiet intelligence in understanding that global success demands both consistency and flexibility. The journey eastward, into Asia, presented an entirely new set of fascinating complexities. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, IKEA began its careful foray into markets like China, Japan, and India. These were cultures with ancient traditions, deeply rooted aesthetic sensibilities, and vastly different living arrangements. The challenge was immense, but so too was the opportunity. Consider China, a nation of immense scale and rapid modernization. When IKEA first entered the Chinese market, it encountered a fascinating paradox. While the concept of affordable, well-designed furniture was appealing, the traditional Chinese home often featured smaller living spaces and a preference for custom-made furniture or pieces with a more ornate, traditional aesthetic. Furthermore, the idea of do-it-yourself assembly was not as readily embraced as in Western markets, where it had become a familiar part of the consumer landscape. IKEA's response was a masterclass in cultural sensitivity. They didn't simply import their European catalog. Instead, they embarked on extensive research, visiting countless Chinese homes, observing daily life, and understanding the nuances of how families lived and interacted within their spaces. This led to the development of specific product lines tailored to Chinese needs. Smaller dining tables, more compact storage solutions for apartments, and even furniture designed to accommodate the practice of multi-generational living. They also recognized the importance of convenience, offering assembly services at a nominal charge, gently easing customers into the self-assembly concept rather than imposing it. Marketing in China also took on a unique flavor. While still emphasizing affordability and design, IKEA subtly shifted its focus to highlight the functionality and space-saving aspects of its furniture, a direct appeal to the practical needs of urban dwellers. The in-store experience, however, remained distinctly IKEA, The vast showrooms, the meandering paths, the Swedish meatballs in the restaurant, a gentle anchor to its core identity amidst the cultural adaptations. This blend of familiarity and novelty proved to be a winning formula, making IKEA a beloved destination for a growing segment of the Chinese population. Japan, another key Asian market, presented its own set of fascinating cultural considerations. Japanese homes are often characterized by their efficiency of space, their minimalist aesthetic, and a deep appreciation for craftsmanship and natural materials. While IKEA's Scandinavian design principles shared some common ground with Japanese minimalism, the scale and functionality needed careful adjustment. Here, IKEA focused on offering highly modular and adaptable furniture, perfect for smaller living spaces and for those who frequently reconfigure their homes. Storage solutions became even more ingenious, maximizing every available inch. The emphasis on natural wood finishes and clean lines resonated well with Japanese sensibilities. Furthermore, IKEA understood the Japanese preference for meticulous detail and quality, ensuring that its products met these high expectations. The showroom experience in Japan, with its emphasis on creating aspirational yet attainable living spaces, became a quiet testament to IKEA's ability to speak a universal language of home, while subtly inflecting it with local accents. The Middle East, with its distinct cultural norms and consumer preferences, offered yet another landscape for IKEA to navigate. In countries like the UAE and Saudi Arabia, where hospitality is paramount and homes are often designed for large gatherings, IKEA adapted by offering larger furniture pieces, more elaborate dining sets, and a greater emphasis on comfortable seating arrangements. The color palettes, while still rooted in IKEA's bright and natural aesthetic, sometimes incorporated richer tones and textures that resonated with local tastes. The challenge here was not just about product adaptation, but also about understanding the social dynamics of home life and designing solutions that supported those traditions. Throughout this global tapestry of expansion, IKEA has maintained a remarkable consistency in its core identity. The flat pack concept, the democratic design philosophy, the self-service model, the distinctive blue and yellow branding. These elements remain steadfast, a quiet anchor in a sea of cultural diversity. This consistency is not a rigid adherence, but rather a gentle framework within which adaptation can flourish. The IKEA effect, the psychological phenomenon where consumers value items more highly if they have assembled them themselves, has proven to be surprisingly universal. While the initial acceptance of self-assembly might vary, the sense of accomplishment and ownership it fosters seems to transcend cultural boundaries, a testament to a shared human desire for creation and engagement. The challenges, of course, have been numerous and varied. Navigating complex international regulations, establishing robust supply chains across vast distances, understanding diverse consumer protection laws, and even adapting to different climate conditions, these are the quiet, often unseen hurdles that a global enterprise must overcome. Yet, IKEA has approached these challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for learning and refinement. Its success lies in its ability to listen, to send its researchers into homes, to observe, to engage, and to truly understand the lived experiences of people in different parts of the world. It is a humble approach, one that prioritizes empathy and curiosity over imposition. And what of the future? As IKEA continues its quiet march across the globe, it faces new frontiers and new challenges. The rise of e-commerce, the increasing demand for sustainable practices, and the evolving nature of urban living all require continuous adaptation. Yet, the principles that have guided its expansion thus far, democratic design, affordability, and a deep respect for the customer, will undoubtedly remain its guiding stars. IKEA's global journey is not merely a tale of commercial success. It is a gentle narrative of human connection, of understanding how we live, how we dream, and how we create spaces that reflect our identities, no matter where we are in the world. It is a testament to the power of a simple idea, thoughtfully executed and patiently adapted, to resonate across cultures and bring a little piece of Scandinavian comfort to homes everywhere. Gentle, ambient music begins to swell slowly, very subtly, and the sound of the distant soft breeze. Welcome back, dear listener, to Gentle Economics. We continue our quiet journey through the world of IKEA, a world woven with threads of innovation, design, and a surprisingly profound understanding of the human spirit. As the evening deepens and the world outside softens its edges, let us turn our attention to a fascinating phenomenon, one that lies at the very heart of IKEA's enduring appeal, yet often goes unexamined in our hurried lives. We speak of something known, quite aptly, as the IKEA effect. Imagine for a moment a quiet afternoon. Perhaps you've just returned from a visit to the sprawling blue and yellow labyrinth, a flat-pack box nestled gently in the boot of your car. The anticipation, a subtle hum, begins to build. You unpack the pieces, the instructions, a bag of screws and dowels, each component laid out with a sense of purpose. There's a moment of quiet contemplation, perhaps a fleeting sigh as you consider the task ahead. But then, a rhythm begins. A screw turns, a panel clicks into place, a drawer slides smoothly into its new home. Piece by piece, a form emerges from the flat, unassuming wood, and as the final screw is tightened, as the last shelf is slotted, a feeling washes over you, a quiet satisfaction, a sense of accomplishment. This, dear listener, is the subtle magic of the IKEA effect. The IKEA effect, in the language of psychology and economics, describes a cognitive bias. It's the tendency for consumers to place a disproportionately high value on products that they have partially created, assembled, or contributed to. It's a subtle yet powerful force, often operating beneath the surface of our conscious awareness, shaping our perceptions and our affections. We don't just buy a bookshelf, we build a bookshelf. And in that act of building, something profound shifts within us. Let us delve a little deeper into the gentle currents of this psychological phenomenon. Why do we cherish something more simply because we've invested our time and effort into it? The answer, like so many truths, lies in the intricate workings of the human mind. Firstly, there is the undeniable allure of competence and mastery. In a world that often feels complex and overwhelming, the act of successfully assembling a piece of furniture, following instructions, and seeing a tangible result provides a quiet affirmation of our capabilities. It's a small victory, a miniature triumph in our daily lives. Each screw tightened, each panel aligned, is a step towards a completed whole, and with each step, a sense of quiet pride begins to blossom. We prove to ourselves that we are capable, that we can create, that we can bring something into being. This feeling of competence is intrinsically rewarding, a gentle balm to the spirit. Consider the contrast. If you were to purchase a fully assembled piece of furniture, delivered to your door, the experience would be different. Convenient, certainly, but perhaps lacking that particular spark of personal connection. The IKEA piece, however, carries with it the echoes of your own hands, your own effort. It becomes a testament to your own quiet labor. Secondly, the IKEA effect taps into our deep-seated need for personal connection and ownership. When we build something, it ceases to be merely an object and becomes, in a very real sense, ours. It bears the imprint of our time, our attention, our unique touch. Even if the instructions are identical for millions of others, the act of assembly makes this specific item uniquely tied to our specific experience. It's not just a table, it's the table I built. This subtle shift in perception imbues the object with a deeper meaning, a richer narrative. Think of a child's drawing. To an objective observer, it might be a simple scribble. But to the parent, it is a masterpiece, a cherished artifact, because it represents the child's effort, their imagination, their unique expression. The IKEA effect operates on a similar principle, albeit on a more adult scale. We become, in a small way, the artisans of our own homes. Thirdly, there is the element of effort justification. This is a well-documented psychological principle that suggests we tend to value something more if we have expended effort to acquire or achieve it. The greater the effort, the greater the perceived value. This isn't always rational, of course. Sometimes the effort might be disproportionate to the objective quality of the item. But our minds, in their quest for consistency, often rationalize our efforts by elevating the perceived worth of the outcome. The hours spent deciphering diagrams, the occasional misstep, the quiet concentration, all these contribute to a sense of investment. And because we have invested, we are more likely to appreciate, to cherish, and even to defend the object of our labor. It's a subtle form of self-persuasion, a gentle whisper in the mind that says, "This must be good, because I worked so hard for it." Let us also consider the broader appeal of DIY, or do-it-yourself, culture. IKEA did not invent the human desire to create, to build, to personalize. This impulse is ancient, rooted in our very nature. From crafting tools in prehistoric times to knitting sweaters in modern homes, the act of creation is deeply satisfying. IKEA, in its genius, democratized this impulse, making it accessible to millions. The flat-pack format, often seen as a logistical marvel, is also a psychological masterstroke. It transforms the consumer from a passive recipient into an active participant. It invites us into a quiet collaboration, a gentle partnership with the brand. We are not just buying a product. We are buying an experience, a project, a small adventure that culminates in a tangible, useful object. And this leads us to the profound appeal of personalization. While IKEA's designs are often standardized, the act of assembly and the subsequent placement and use of the furniture allows for a unique expression. A simple Kallax shelving unit, for example, can be a book display, a toy organizer, a room divider, a plant stand. Its ultimate purpose and aesthetic are shaped by the individual who assembles it and integrates it into their living space. This sense of personalization extends beyond the initial assembly. Many IKEA pieces are designed to be easily modified, painted, or combined with other elements. This encourages a continuous engagement, a gentle evolution of the furniture over time. It becomes a canvas for our creativity, a quiet reflection of our evolving tastes and needs. This ongoing interaction deepens the bond, reinforcing the IKEA effect with each new touch. Imagine a quiet Sunday morning. You decide to paint an old IKEA dresser a new color, perhaps a soft sage green, to match a new throw pillow. The act of sanding, priming, and painting, though a small task, re-engages you with the object. It renews its story, refreshes its presence in your home. It's no longer just a dresser, it's your dresser, lovingly transformed. The IKEA effect is not merely about saving money, though that is certainly a factor in IKEA's appeal. It is about something deeper, something more intrinsic to the human experience. It is about the quiet satisfaction of creation, the gentle affirmation of competence, and the profound connection that forms when we invest a part of ourselves into the objects that surround us. In a world increasingly dominated by instant gratification and passive consumption, IKEA offers a gentle counter-narrative. It invites us to slow down, to engage our hands and our minds, to participate in the making of our own environments. It transforms the mundane act of furniture acquisition into a subtle, rewarding ritual. As we conclude this segment, let us reflect on the quiet power of this phenomenon. The next time you find yourself assembling an IKEA piece, take a moment to notice the subtle shifts within you. Feel the gentle hum of satisfaction as a piece clicks into place. Observe the quiet pride as the finished article stands before you. This is not just furniture. It is a testament to your own quiet effort, a small monument to your own gentle creativity. The IKEA effect reminds us that true value is not always inherent in the object itself, but often emerges from the interaction between the object and the human spirit. It is a gentle whisper that reminds us of our innate capacity to create, to build, and to find meaning in the quiet acts of our daily lives. Narrator. As twilight deepens and the world outside begins its slow descent into slumber, we turn our gaze once more to the quiet giant of home furnishings, IKEA. We've journeyed through its forests, its factories, its showrooms, and its philosophy. Now, as the digital winds whisper through the ancient trees of commerce, we contemplate IKEA's journey into tomorrow. A journey not of hurried leaps, but of thoughtful, deliberate steps, much like the careful assembly of a beloved piece of furniture. The world, as we know it, is in constant, gentle flux. The ways we connect, the ways we consume, the ways we dream of our homes, all are subtly yet profoundly shifting. For decades, IKEA's grand blue and yellow boxes stood as beacons on the edges of our cities, inviting us into a world of endless possibilities, a labyrinth of inspiration. But the digital age, a quiet revolution unfolding in the glow of our screens, presented a new landscape. A landscape where the journey to a new sofa could begin not with a car ride, but with a tap of a finger. Narrator. For a company built on the tactile experience, on the joy of wandering through meticulously crafted room settings, the digital realm might have seemed a formidable, perhaps even alien territory. How does one translate the scent of pine, the feel of a woven rug, the comforting weight of a ceramic mug into pixels and light? IKEA's answer, as it often is, has been one of thoughtful adaptation, of understanding the essence of its offering and finding new ways to gently unfurl it before its customers. The early days of e-commerce for IKEA were, perhaps, a cautious exploration. The sheer scale of their inventory, the complexity of their flat-pack logistics, presented unique challenges. But with the same meticulous planning that goes into designing a new furniture line, IKEA began to weave its digital tapestry. Their online presence evolved from a simple catalog into a sophisticated platform, a virtual showroom where one could browse, dream, and ultimately purchase. Narrator. The beauty of this digital transformation lies not in replacing the physical experience, but in complementing it, in extending the invitation to IKEA's world beyond the confines of its physical walls. Imagine, if you will, a quiet evening at home. The day's demands have receded, and a gentle calm settles over your space. You find yourself contemplating a small change, a new piece to bring a fresh breath of life into a corner of your home. Instead of a hurried trip, you can now, from the comfort of your own sofa, embark on a leisurely exploration of IKEA's offerings. The website becomes a digital stroll, a tranquil perusal of possibilities, all at your own pace, without the gentle hum of other shoppers or the distant murmur of the cafeteria. This online presence is more than just a shopping portal. It is a source of inspiration, a digital mood board. IKEA's commitment to democratic design extends to its digital realm, offering tools and guides to help customers visualize and plan their spaces. Augmented reality apps allow you to virtually place furniture in your own home, a quiet magic that bridges the gap between the digital and the tangible, allowing you to gently test the waters before making a commitment. It's a thoughtful gesture, acknowledging the importance of seeing how a piece truly feels within your own sanctuary. Narrator. But the digital age is not merely about screens and algorithms. It also brings with it a shifting landscape of urban living, a gentle migration back towards the heart of our cities. As populations grow and urban spaces become more cherished, the sprawling, out-of-town superstores, while still beloved, present a different kind of journey. IKEA, with its characteristic foresight, has begun to adapt to these evolving rhythms of life. Enter the concept of the smaller city store, a more intimate, curated experience designed to fit seamlessly into the fabric of urban life. These aren't miniature versions of the grand warehouses, but rather thoughtfully designed spaces, often focusing on specific product categories or offering a more tailored selection. They might specialize in kitchen planning, or showcase solutions for compact living, or even serve as convenient pickup points for online orders. Narrator. Imagine a quiet afternoon, a gentle break from the city's gentle hum. You can step into one of these smaller stores, perhaps during your lunch break, or on a leisurely weekend stroll. The overwhelming scale is replaced by a sense of calm and focus. Here, you can touch the fabrics, feel the textures, and speak with knowledgeable coworkers who can offer personalized guidance. It's a return to a more human scale of retail, a quiet acknowledgement that sometimes less is indeed more. These stores are not about the grand expedition, but about the gentle discovery, the convenient inspiration that fits into the rhythm of daily life. They are like quiet havens, offering a moment of contemplation amidst the urban bustle. This strategic evolution reflects a deep understanding of evolving consumer habits, the desire for convenience, the appreciation for personalized service, and the growing consciousness of our environmental footprint. All these gentle currents shape the future of retail. IKEA's approach is not to resist these currents, but to gently guide its ship through them, adapting its sails to catch the most favorable winds. Narrator. As we cast our gaze further into the horizon, what gentle innovations might we anticipate from IKEA? The future of home furnishing, much like the future itself, is not a sudden, jarring revelation, but a gradual unfolding. We can envision a future where our homes become even more responsive to our needs, more attuned to our well-being. Smart home technology, for instance, is no longer a distant dream, but a quiet reality. IKEA, with its commitment to making good design accessible, is gently weaving these intelligent threads into the fabric of our homes. Imagine lighting that subtly shifts to mimic the natural progression of daylight, aiding our sleep and wake cycles. Or furniture that discreetly monitors our comfort, adjusting to our posture with a gentle hum. These are not intrusive technologies, but rather thoughtful companions, designed to enhance our sense of peace and ease within our personal sanctuaries. Narrator. Furthermore, the philosophy of modularity and adaptability, so central to IKEA's DNA, will likely deepen. As living spaces become more fluid and our needs evolve over time, furniture that can gently transform, that can serve multiple purposes, will become even more cherished. A sofa that can become a guest bed with a quiet pull, a desk that can fold away to reveal a dining table. These are not just clever designs, but expressions of a deeper understanding of how we live, how we adapt, and how our homes can gently support us through life's many seasons. And then there is the ever-present, ever-growing awareness of our planet. Sustainability, a quiet whisper that has grown into a gentle chorus, will continue to guide IKEA's innovations. We can anticipate even greater strides in the use of recycled and renewable materials, in closed-loop systems where products are designed for longevity and eventual gentle return to the earth. Imagine furniture crafted from reclaimed ocean plastics or textiles woven from innovative plant-based fibers, all while maintaining the aesthetic appeal and affordability that define IKEA. It's a commitment to a future where our homes are not just comfortable for us, but also gentle on the world around us. Narrator. Ultimately, the future of home furnishing, as envisioned by IKEA, is not about fleeting trends or extravagant displays. It is about the enduring human need for comfort, for beauty, for functionality, and for a sense of belonging within our own spaces. It is about creating homes that are. And so, as the twilight deepens outside our windows, and the world begins its slow descent into slumber, we arrive at the quiet conclusion of our journey through the world of IKEA. We've explored the intricate threads that weave together its story, from the humble beginnings in the Swedish countryside to the sprawling blue and yellow labyrinths that dot our modern landscapes. We've seen how a young Ingvar Kamprad, with a spirit as industrious as the bees in his father's fields, began with matches and pens, and gradually, almost imperceptibly, built an empire not of grand monuments, but of everyday objects. An empire built on the simple, yet profound idea of making good design practical function, and a touch of beauty accessible to everyone. It wasn't about revolutionizing the world with a single, dramatic stroke, but rather about a steady, persistent dedication to a quiet ideal. Think back to the forests of Småland, the scent of pine needles underfoot, the crisp, clean air. It was there, amidst that natural abundance and a culture of resourcefulness, that the seeds of IKEA's philosophy were sown. The idea of making more from less, of finding clever solutions to common problems, of embracing simplicity not as a limitation, but as a path to elegance and efficiency. This wasn't a corporate strategy born in a boardroom, but an organic outgrowth of a way of life. We've traced the evolution of its design philosophy, a journey from the sturdy, traditional forms of early Swedish furniture to the sleek, minimalist lines that define so much of its contemporary aesthetic. Yet, through all these shifts in style, a core principle remained unwavering: the belief that furniture should serve the people, not the other way around. It should be comfortable, functional, and aesthetically pleasing, without demanding an exorbitant price or an exclusive pedigree. It was a democratization of design, a quiet rebellion against the notion that beauty and quality were only for the privileged few. Consider the flat pack. A seemingly simple innovation, yet one that profoundly reshaped the furniture industry and, in turn, our relationship with the objects in our homes. It wasn't just about saving space in transit or reducing costs. It was about inviting us, the consumers, into the creative process. The act of assembling a piece of IKEA furniture, with its sometimes perplexing instructions and its satisfying click of components, is a small ritual. A moment of quiet focus, a miniature project that culminates in a tangible sense of accomplishment. It's a subtle invitation to participate, to invest a little of ourselves into the items that will then populate our living spaces. And what of the IKEA store itself? More than just a retail outlet, it's a carefully orchestrated experience. A journey through meticulously staged rooms, each one a whisper of possibility, a suggestion of how our own lives might be a little more organized, a little more comfortable, a little more Swedish. The winding path, the strategically placed shortcuts, the scent of cinnamon buns wafting from the restaurant. It's all designed to gently guide us, to immerse us in a world where practicality and aspiration intertwine. It's a space where dreams of a better home can quietly take root, nurtured by the promise of affordability and functional design. We've also touched upon the quiet complexities of its global supply chain, a vast, intricate network that stretches across continents, connecting forests to factories, factories to distribution centers, and ultimately to our homes. It's a testament to meticulous planning, to a relentless pursuit of efficiency, and to a deep understanding of logistics. Yet, even in this vastness, there's a commitment to sustainability, a recognition that the resources of our planet are finite and that growth must be balanced with responsibility. It's a quiet acknowledgement of our interconnectedness with the natural world and a subtle effort to minimize the footprint of our desires. IKEA, in its essence, is not a brand that shouts for attention. It doesn't boast of luxury or exclusivity. Instead, it offers a quiet, unassuming presence in our lives. It's the bookshelf that holds our most cherished stories, the lamp that casts a warm glow over our evening reading, the comfortable sofa where we unwind after a long day. It's the kitchen table where families gather, the desk where ideas take shape, the bed where dreams are dreamt. It has become, for many of us, a silent partner in the creation of our personal sanctuaries. It provides the building blocks, the foundational elements upon which we layer our own personalities, our own memories, our own unique sense of home. It's a canvas, rather than a finished masterpiece, inviting us to add our own brushstrokes, our own colors, our own stories. And that, perhaps, is its most enduring legacy. Not just the furniture itself, but the quiet empowerment it offers. The ability to furnish a home, to create a comfortable and functional living space, without breaking the bank. The freedom to experiment, to adapt, to change. It's a quiet liberation from the constraints of expensive design, opening up possibilities for countless individuals and families around the world. As we bring our exploration to a close, let us reflect on the quiet strength of this Swedish giant. It's a strength not derived from aggressive marketing or ostentatious displays, but from a deep understanding of human needs, a steadfast commitment to its founding principles, and a continuous, gentle evolution. It reminds us that profound impact can often come from the most unassuming of places, from the most practical of intentions. The world of IKEA, much like the gentle rhythm of life itself, is a tapestry woven with threads of innovation, practicality, and a quiet, persistent optimism. It's a testament to the power of a simple idea, nurtured with care and allowed to grow organically, touching millions of lives in subtle yet significant ways. Now, as the final notes of our journey softly fade, I invite you to let these thoughts drift gently through your mind. Allow the quiet hum of understanding to settle within you. May the insights we've shared contribute to a sense of calm and reflection as you prepare for rest. As the day's demands recede and the gentle embrace of the night draws near, may you find peace in the quiet moments. May your mind be clear and your spirit serene. Thank you for joining me on this tranquil exploration. If you found solace and interest in this journey, I invite you to gently consider subscribing to Gentle Economics for more stories that soothe the mind and illuminate the world of business and economy. Perhaps a quiet like or a thoughtful comment could also help others discover these peaceful narratives. Until our next quiet contemplation, may your dreams be soft and your rest be deep. Good night.